In our most recent Factorio adventure, we put crude oil through the refinery process and came out with petroleum gas. The purpose of that is it allows us to now begin using our next oil-related structure, the chemical plant, which does for the oil area what the assembly machine does for the rest of our factory. Sort of a jack of all trades. It's got two inputs and outputs, as we can see, but these can take piped or solid ingredients and also output piped or solid products. The first thing I want to do here is get plastic going. Now, plastic is used for a few things, some ammunition that we'll get into later, but for our present purposes, we care that it is used for a couple of items further down the bus at significant volume, including the red advanced circuits, our next tier in the circuits, which are required for the blue chemical science packs. That'll get us into advanced oil processing. So there's multi-stages here, but that's where we're going. 2 plastic bars for 1 coal and 20 petroleum gas in 1 second. And these times are a lot more reliable when it comes to oil because we're not dealing with funky math that we do with the different tiers of assembly machines. Again, the chemical plants only have 1 tier, and crafting speed is just 1, so it's flat whatever the recipe says. Then we will step out a few more of these. I don't need to put a gap along these lines between these machines because they're just taking the petroleum gas in over here in terms of the pipes. So it's just the one ingredient. We can just step the pipe down here, as we will do shortly. And we could put these a little bit closer and have only 1 outgoing belt, but I'm just going to be totally sure that this line will produce enough, and we'll have 2 outgoing belts. And then we'll, of course, hook up our petroleum gas. We should, of course, get some power in here in a minute. We're going to want a belt coming in through here. And, of course, you can switch this up. You can have the coal coming in the middle and the plastic on the outside, or I could just have, like, a belt of coal coming in, the other belt plastic. I mean, there's, like anything, there's basic alternatives that we have. But this is just the setup I'm going to use. And let's get our piping then up to the other side. So the petroleum is now getting everywhere. Of course, we will want coal in here. And then we will bring it out. Fast inserters, because we are going to get 2 a second out of this. And then we just need to hook up all of our lines. I do quite enjoy the aesthetics of the chemical plant. Now that they are up and running, we can see the white gunk down below and the dark smoke coming out of the stacks. Those effects are color-coded to whatever the plant is producing at the time, so nice little animation detail there. With the splitters here, only this last one is prioritized to the north belt, and I'll definitely be upgrading this to a higher tier later on. This way we have the plastic going first up to our eventual red advanced circuits area, and then only the overflow will be shunted down to go down to the depot. And we're building a 6th section out here on the main bus, plastic to start, and more products will be joining soon. The coal, of course, coming in undergrounds to get out of the way of our pipes. And in the long term, coal is only used in plastic in terms of permanent staple items. That's the main reason that coal is needed on the bus. So our next product is going to require chemical plants again, and also more petroleum gas. We're going to need sulfur. And sulfur requires 2 piped-in ingredients, but no solid ones, so that's why I'm spacing them apart, so we have room for our pipes. Water and petroleum gas, 30 a second, brings us to sulfur. And there are 3 products that we're going to get from sulfur. I'm going to build all of them locally, so we will not be doing any busing of this. But the most important one is that it's used directly as an ingredient in the chemical science packs, which of course we need to get our advanced oil processing. So it's the next step on our journey towards that. And much like we did with the refineries before, 1 row for each resource, stepping along with our underground pipes. and then filling in our connections. And we can see now with the power coming up, yellow effects as we might expect for sulfur. The reason that I'm putting all these in a row and not bracketing an output belt like I did with the plastic and like I do with many production areas is that I actually want to build some of what we need sulfur for right next to it. So off of the same belt that we're going to initially put the sulfur on. And since we're going to do that, to use both lanes of the belt, I'm going to alternate these little side loading belts coming out this way. So these two can just put it out on the far side. These other two will side load on the near side. And there's our sulfur operation just as we want it to be. So our next two items to come from this are going to be sulfuric acid and explosives right up here. Sulfuric acid uses quite a bit of sulfur. You can see also 100 water iron plate per second, and then 50 sulfuric acid coming out per second. So these work quite quickly and get quite a lot of material out. We won't need a lot of them. We will not need a lot of these either. That's just because we won't need that much of the actual explosives. Coal, sulfur, and water. Notice sulfur and water required for both of these, so some nice commonality there. And explosives are used for a number of the items we researched under the red and green area in terms of combat, but also it's probably going to be worth noting that we can finally, once we have these, effectively get rid of cliffs, because cliff explosives come from these, and we'll see how those work in the future, but we definitely want to have them around. So we'll bring up our water. And then just slide it in right along here. I'll use the fast inserters here, but we will only need the slower yellow ones over here. And then power connections. Now I am going to side load again out here for the explosives. And then you'll come out here. Like so. We'll have this way. We're going to have coming in our resources that will be needed. So they'll basically just be crossing. And we're going to have iron for the sulfuric acid and coal for the explosives coming in is the point. So we won't need a lot of it, but we'll bring that in. Outputting here and outputting here should be effective. And of course, using pipes for our sulfuric acid. If we want to build more of any of these, we can just throw them on down further on the line. And much like we did with the petroleum gas replacing oil along the shoulder, then we'll now replace the petroleum gas with our sulfuric acid. Petroleum gas only being used for the two items here, the sulfur and the plastic, so not a large number of products that it's needed for, but these are definitely both very critical, and especially the plastic will be made in high volume. So now we need to get our iron and our coal in. See if we can do that reasonably here. And this is the very last item that I'm going to use coal for. So if we want anything on that section of the bus going up to the north, we can then do that. And that should have us set up. So where do we go from here? Well, we still need to get the blue chemical science packs going. In order to do that, we are still going to need our red advanced circuits. So all of that fun will continue next time. Again, we can see the different effects that we have here as we build out our explosives, and this has already filled our pipe. So we're ready to move on when Factorio Demystified returns. Thanks for watching.